People of Myanmar are fighting for their freedom against a military dictatorship. Myanmar is an ancient land tucked between China, India, and Thailand. And now that we're hearing so much about it, people have questions like, why don't they call it Burma anymore? Jeremy Woodrum of the U.S. Campaign for Burma has some answers. Good morning.
Good morning.
First, let's talk about this regime and just how repressive it is. Some people liken it to the North, how difficult it is to live there for people who live in North Korea. Similar?
There are some similarities. I'd say it's a little bit lighter than North Korea, although the military regime has recruited more child soldiers than any other country in the world. There's 2,000 political prisoners, and writing a poem or singing a song about human rights will get you 7 years in prison.
7 years in prison.
Yes.
These guys are tough guys. What fomented this most recent series of protests to put all these thousands and thousands of monks right into the main street in Yangon?
Mm-hmm. Well, Burma may be the only country in the world where the entire population hates the government. Everybody would like change except for a very small cadre at the top. So what happened to instigate these protests was the quintupling of fuel prices, and that actually captured the feelings of the country and brought the Buddhist monks and the civilians onto the streets.
Yeah, from what I've been able to glean this morning, Barry Peterson was saying no monks on the streets today. It sounds like the military may have basically surrounded the monasteries and put them in house arrest, which is a pretty common thing there. Talk a little bit about Aung San Suu Kyi. People may recognize her name, Nobel Prize winner. She's been under house arrest there for years. Who is she? Why is she so important?
Sure. Well, Aung San Suu Kyi is the daughter of Aung San, who is Burma's independence hero, sort of like their George Washington. And she led a political party to win an election in Burma. She won 82% of the seats in parliament. For the Burmese people, they see her like a Nelson Mandela. She embodies their aspirations for human rights inside the country. So she's under house arrest, and now the monks are as well. They've completely destroyed 2 monasteries, and we understand that up to 200 people have been executed.
Right. Help explain, because it was originally a British protectorate, and then it became a colony. British started to give the freedom back, or give the country back to the people of Burma. The controversy between, some people call it Burma, some people call it Myanmar. In the original language, it would be Myanmar, I suppose. Sure. Does it give you some indication of where your politics are, depending on what name you say?
Yeah, it does give some indication, because Aung San Suu Kyi, the Nobel Peace Prize recipient, her political party has called on people who support human rights around the world to use the term Burma as much as possible. So we support that, the European Union supports that, the US government supports that, and a lot of newspapers support that. It's not something that we really are stuck on, but we do encourage people to use the term Burma as much as possible.
Here, finally, the one country that seems to have some influence there is China, because they're such big trading partners. Is there any real influence from the outside? This is a country with no freedom of press. These people at enormous risk to their lives have been using the internet, which seems to be shut down basically now. What influence can the world have on what's going on?
I think the world can have influence by influencing China. They are the country that provides military, diplomatic, and financial protection for the military regime. And as the Olympic Games are coming up in a year, there's a lot of focus on China's foreign policy. This type of situation is devastating for their reputation.
All right, Jeremy Woodrum, thank you so much. Really do appreciate it.
Thank you.